Hey guys, it's your girl Leslie, and welcome to my channel. Hey guys, it's been a little bit. I needed a break for myself, a little small break after Valentine's Day because I know it's only like a couple of days. It's not like a whole week. I don't. Yeah, it's probably just a couple days. Yeah. Don't mind this big doom thing on my head. I'm currently drying my hair, but I wanted to do this story. And because I wanted to ask you guys something. So, before we even start, Carnage X Reader. First things first, I wanted to ask you guys, since y'all had so many goddamn requests to bring back FNAF. Oh, excuse me. FNAF X Reader. I couldn't find the FNAF X Reader I was reading because it probably got deleted, and same thing with the other FNAF story. I got those two mixed up accidentally, but one of them is but her story was amazing. Her Five Nights at Freddy's X Reader. Her specific story was awesome, and there was this whole series of. There was not just one book. There was multiple of books, but they were very interesting and entertaining. I read it before, like during this YouTube, but whenever I was small and I was doing another Jeff the Killer X Reader thing that just ended really badly, and I was like, huh. So yeah, I found another FNAF X Reader story. It is quite interesting. I actually found two, but one is more of like a realistic turn. I don't think there's too much of love interest. And then another one, maybe might be love interest. I'm not really sure. I haven't read through the whole thing, but I read like through chapter 1 and 2, and I think it is kind of interesting. These two stories might be interesting. One is about a specific lady, uh, kind of, with Mike Schmidt, I think. And then they're basically kind of working together. First, it's kind of rocky, but then they slowly start, and then, like, these animatronics are out to kill them and whatnot. But after a certain... I'm not gonna not really too much. But let's just say she got hurt a couple times. A wrist, and then something else. I think a leg. Not broken, but messed up. One hand broke, and then another got messed up. Not too sure. Yeah, it's all like up in here, so sorry. But yeah, and then the other one, basic teenager, getting up there, getting a job, working for Five Nights at Freddy's as the night guard. Those like, she shouldn't, like, it's a bad idea, like, those people, like, in the background, just looking at her and sad. It's just like, why you pick this? Anyway, she starts working there by herself as a night guard, and at first, she somehow doesn't, she's like a shy type of person, so, yeah, like, she accepted her death quite quickly, but she did not die. But I'm not going to tell you who was about to kill. That's too much information. Okay, but these are the two basic stories. Let me know which one you want me to read. If you want me to read both, sure, I'll try to read both. But for now, at least try and choose one of them, which one's your favorite. I'll put both of the links down in the description, and I'll let you know. And if you guys, oh my god, and if you guys have any suggestions of any story, please let me know, please. Like any FNAF X Reader you would just love me to read and know that it's really good. But it's okay if it was paused, because one of them are actually paused. One of mine, the one with the teenager, shy person, yeah, that one is paused. The other one, no. I think that one is completed. Yeah, I think that one's completed. But yeah, let me know what else stories you got, Five Nights at X Reader, because I know y'all want it. I know y'all want it back. And I feel bad for not completing that, but it was deleted. It was too late for me to continue it. So it was kind of disappointing. But yeah, anyways, too much about Five Nights at Freddy's, because, like, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, too much. Let's get straight into this damn story.
Okay, so we up in here. We are in chapter 4, A Deadly Sunset. And sorry if I mess up. I'm still kind of sick. And my throat's just an inch dry, so please bear with me. Okay. Wan stared at herself in the mirror for a long moment. If I don't end up dead tonight, it's a miracle. She decided putting on the rest of her makeup. She wore the makeup not really because she wanted to impress Carnage, but because impressing him was her best hope for getting out alive. For that reason, she chose a red and black color scheme, the colors he seemed to love. The red eyelids faded into black eyeliner. Ooh, that's pretty. With a sharp point at the tip. Ooh. Red lipstick was placed on her lips as well. This was a terrible plan. She looked over at the clock. The current time was 4:44. Okay, I'm good. The current time was 4:48. I'm gonna die in 12 minutes. Well, that's just sad. She had also put on her best clothes. However, she had one rule when it came into that, and that was trying to show as little skin as possible. That's actually smart. Let me reread that. That was bad. She also had to put on her best clothes. However, she had one rule when it came to that, and that was trying to show as little skin as possible. Better. She didn't know anything about this man's personality other than his infamous murdering. But she didn't really put anything past him just yet. With that in mind, she ended up wearing skinny jeans and a nice shirt that almost covered the bite mark. But alas, it still showed. She heard a knock come from the other room. She walked out just to see Carnage just outside her window. She sighed and opened it. There is a door, you know. The windows are more convenient for me, they replied, entering her building as the Semonite revealed Cletus. She found his eyes were already exploring her form. The themed makeup, the bite mark, he could tell she tried to hide the curves of her body. Cletus smiled to himself, and a wave of something rushed through him. His cheeks become dusted red. The tinted color went unnoticed by YN, but his Symphonite was well aware of it. She telepathically hissed inside his mind. This is a whole nother emotion, Cletus. Eyes on her eyes, not her body. You idiot! Cletus didn't hesitate to return his gaze to hers. Following the directions of his Simnite seemed best since he had no idea what he was doing. He probably never would know what to do in the end. So, listening to Red's insight, it was. YN was already uncomfortable. Going on a date with a murderer certainly wasn't how she thought this day would go. She was expecting her blood covering the claws of Carnage, but this was something else. This she was not expecting. Cletus outstretched his hand to her. Come on, I know what to do, he told her, chuckling softly. She stared at his hand for a moment, then sighed. She had already accepted this fate, though, hadn't she? As her hand touched his, she couldn't stop the flinch that followed him, curling his fingers around hers and leading her back. Excuse me. She wasn't paying attention to his movements, just the hand that held hers a little too tightly for her liking. So, tell me, YN, are you afraid of heights? Huh? Before she could process the meaning behind his words, the Symphonite had already taken over Cletus's Cassidy's body. Carnage pulled her forward, keeping her held fast in one arm. They fell back, and she was now free falling headfirst out the window. She screamed, clutching the Carnage out of pure fear and instinct. She felt her breath dragged out of her lungs as they twisted in the air, suddenly gliding over the streets below. She looked up, seeing the thick white web stretched out from Cassidy's hand. "Don't drop me, please don't drop me," she shouted, Carnage swinging with ease. Their grip on her tightened, and it would have been reassuring if she wasn't still afraid of them. "I'm not gonna drop you, babe. Then I wouldn't have a girlfriend," they replied, the webbing vanishing only for more to shoot out and hook around a building. They spun around it, Carnage outstretching their legs to land on the very edge of a building, like a hawk. Wyan took deep breaths, dazed from the sudden motion of the web slinging. "That was terrifying," she whispered, Carnage eyeing her curiously. "Really? I found that rather fun when I first tried it, but whatever. I have something more to show. Just maybe calm down first," they told her, still holding on to her as they brought her closer to the center of the rooftop. When they let her go, she took in a few more deep breaths. Perhaps that would have been fun if she were prepared for it. "Come, look at this view. I've seen plenty of better ones, but this is the best one I could show you," they told her, smiling and looking over something she couldn't yet see. She looked towards him from where she was in the middle of the rooftop. "I'm not the best when it comes to heights. I've never really been this high without a railing or a fence before," she replied, not really wanting to be close to the edge. Carnage outstretched a clawed hand to her. "You won't fall. I won't let you," they told her. She looked at the claws and took a step back. They raised a non-existing eyebrow. "What?" They glanced at their own hand, then pulled it back. You don't enjoy my claws? Fine, no claws then." The Semonite once again reverted back to the clothing, and Cletus extended his hand. "You still won't fall. Believe me, if I wanted you dead, I would not have been patient enough to do all this first," he told her. Maya nervously clutching her other hand into a fist as she took his hand and walked forward towards the edge. Wyan took a look out over the view he had brought her to, the sun beginning to dip towards the water surface. "You brought me here to watch the sunset?" she questioned. Cletus looking between her and the dropping sun. "I heard they're supposed to be romantic or something, so I brought you to one," he answered, gesturing his free hand towards the view. She eyed him and found herself bordering on a laugh. He saw this and chuckled despite having no idea why she was about to laugh. I know. I laugh randomly every couple of minutes, but what are you laughing at?" he asked awkwardly, eyeing her with confusion. She looked back at him, her brown eyes sparkling with amusement. This was officially the first time he'd seen anything other than fear within them. "It's just Cletus Cassidy, a serial killer, just brought me to watch the sunset. This is so out of character. Not what I expected at all," she whispered. Cletus' gaze strayed to break the eye contact just in case his stare unsettled her again. "I can't exactly be myself or in character. I assume you wouldn't really enjoy that," he replied, watching the sun twist to orange and red as the sun began to fall below the sea level. He always found the colors of the sunset beautiful. He didn't find many he didn't really find many things that were glorious or colorful and brought him a content feeling. There we go. Well, I'm assuming if you acted in character, I would be dead by now, she replied, also watching the colors in the sky morph and blaze across the sky to the edges of the purple sunset. That, or severely injured. No, definitely dead, he replied with a small laugh. He stopped as she shifted away back from the edge. He didn't let go of her hand, so she felt to get very far away from the man. Wait, I shouldn't have said that. That's probably real threatening. I'm not trying to kill you. I don't want to. I thought we established this by now. His voice had risen and his grip tightened. Don't yell at me. Can't you see this is terrifying to a normal person? You tried to kill me yesterday. I'm still hurting from that attack. Even worse, I have no idea what you're doing or why, she told him, tugging her hand back and avoiding the edge of the building. I'm trying to love you. He snapped back, and the black Simonite tendrils flowing down his arms, up his neck. Up his neck as he yelled at her. But why? Why did you pick to haunt me? Why can't you leave me alone and ruin someone else's life? Her shout seemed to make him snap, and the Simonite was half formed over his face as he spoke. I don't know. You're the only pretty girl. I don't know. You're the only pretty girl I know the name of. I had your cross. I don't know what I'm doing at all. Can you please just calm down? He yelled back while walking closer and closer to her. She backed away at the same speed he had used to approach her. If you don't, my Simonite just might snap. You know what happens when you're bitten? Want to see what it's like to be clawed too? She continued going backwards until she grabbed her by the front of her shirt. She let out a small gasp as she tried to get away. But as she reached her foot back to take another step, she found that there was no ground where she had been about to go. If it weren't for Cletus gripping her shirt, she would have fallen back off the building and to the concrete below. She looked up at him, half expecting him to say something before dropping her, but instead, he softly whispered, I told you I wouldn't let you fall, before pulling her back up. A moment later, and they were bathed in darkness, the sun fully gone. He took in a deep breath, pulling her closer to him as the Simonite form covered him the rest of the way. It's dark. Let's get you home. Once again, I'm not gonna let you go. You'll be fine, they muttered, holding her tight and shooting out a strand of webbing and attaching it to a nearby building. If you don't like it, close your eyes. She held onto them in return, clutching the strange texture the Simonite was made from. Some sort of strange liquid solid that made no sense to her. There's a certain thing that's kind of like that. Yup. They dropped off to the side of the building, swinging out and backwards towards her apartment. Ryan didn't close her eyes. Instead, watched the cars below in a mix of terror and amazement. She heard a growl in her ear. Think of it as though you were flying. That's not so scary, now is it? Flying suggests I'm the one in... She paused and let out a squeak as they dropped slightly from Carnage, chaining the strand of webbing that carried them. Control, which I am not. She called back, feeling her voice be carried away with how fast they were swinging. Carnage stayed silent as they continued on their way. Eventually, they landed against a wall. YN, shocked to find Carnage was able to stay attached to it without a visual explanation. They crawled up through the window, letting YN go once they were inside. She backed away, eyes not leaving them. Oh my god. Carnage avoided her gaze, frustrated that they had freaked her out. They transformed back to their human form, trying to appear less frightening. I know you might think you can't trust me, but I need you to try and go against everything you know about me. Try to trust me. Try to give me a reason to trust you, she quickly replied. Cletus instantly stayed quiet. She had him there. Cassidy, showing me a sunset doesn't exactly make me instantly trust you. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I have never had anyone trust me, so how am I supposed to know what makes someone trust me? He asked, his voice becoming more and more frustrated. She didn't have an answer for him. He sighed, turning away to head towards the window. He paused and looked towards her bedside table where her phone was placed. Hey, what's your number, Dove? She hesitated for a moment before telling him. He gave her a curt nod in return. I'll remember that, he told her, walking towards the window. He climbed up on the windowsill, then turned his head to the side to look back at her. His eyes glanced up at her and down quickly. You look beautiful like that, he whispered before disappearing into the night. Beautiful? Shh. That man is really out of his mind, isn't he? She asked herself. Okay. That was incredibly long. Like, damn. Jesus. But, oh my god, like, now I'm, like, interested. Oh my god. Oh.
So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos. Yeah, my hair mostly dried, so it's like in this bonnet now, so, y'all like it? Yeah, yes, beige, period. But then again, just to remind you guys, please let me know which FNAF story you would like me to read. And if you have any FNAF Story X reader that you would personally like me to read, and it's just super interesting, you just want me to read it for you guys, comment that down below. And if you can, please give me a link so I can personally read the story for myself and see how it goes, and, you know, see if I'm interested enough to read it or not. To announce, other than number one, that there's going to be a couple videos. There wasn't a lot of videos to where I can give you like a whole simple 1 to 2 minute video of cosplay, but it's like really short. It's basically like it was for Valentine's, but like a day late. This is a couple days late. But I hope you guys like it, so yeah, let's watch that.
I really couldn't care less, and you couldn't give him my best, but just know I'm not your friend or anything. Damn, you think that you're the man. I think therefore I am.
Yeah, what you say? I know one thing, so they don't love you like I do.
Twinkle toes. Horsey, twinkle toes. Horsey, twinkle toes.
I loved you, it's true. I wanted to be you and do what you do. I lived here, I loved here, I thought it was true. I feel so stupid.
You guys enjoyed that. But anyways, I officially gotta go because I'm tired as freak, and I'm gonna be very entertained editing this video. But bye and peace for now, guys.